Started. Okay, hello, hello. Here we are. Hey guys, welcome to Power of Clarity. Welcome to another installment of Live with Lori. As always, I am excited to get with you guys today. So come on in, say hello when you get here. I am going to pop open the chat. Hi, Patricia. Awesome. Say hey. Oopsie. Say hello when you get here. Hi, Lori Abbott. Hello, hello. Say hey when you get here. I love it when we connect because it just seems to pull something through me and through the ethers, things that my guidance has to say. And consequently, I believe truly things that your guidance has to say as well, I think comes through this space. Um, Together, we just really, this is a co creation. So, hello, hello. Today, we're talking about the power of clarity. We're talking about the power of clarity. And I've got some really good things. What do I want to say? Like packed up into this little class today. Um, I think I've got some good things. I've had a heap of synchronicities happen in the last couple weeks. As you guys know, I've been finding like nature has been speaking. Let me just say that nature has been totally speaking to me. And I have really like taken all of those signs to help me like create even the unfolding of what we are talking about here in this group. So, for those of you that are new to me, and I have such a good story that I want to tell in a little bit. I'm going to let a couple more of you trickle in. Hi, Suzette. Come on in, you guys. So, here we are. Okay. I'm still kind of getting used to our platform just a little bit. So, oh my gosh. So, for those of you that are joining me in the CUSP community, and for those of you that are new to me, I'm Lori Opal. I know so many of you are veterans in the house, but for those of you who are new, welcome. And I am just really excited to like have this group growing in such a way that I don't even know, like words can't even describe, but I see a lot of you coming in. You're doing the 21 days, you're listening to some of the replays, and I'm hearing from some of you on this journey of like, it really is becoming on the cusp, it's becoming on the edge. It's for those of you that are really willing to like step in and say, like, what is next for me? Who am I really willing to become to live the life that I dream about? Like there's a version of me waiting to be realized. And when we get up to speed with that version of ourselves, and this is like the sweetness of this clarity conversation today. When we allow ourselves to get up to speed with that version of ourselves, things start happening and it feels like as if by magic. So I've got so much to share with you today. I've got Ava creeping through the background trying to be quiet. It's okay, Ava. And so I've got good things. So I've been coaching, back to my just mini introduction. I've been coaching for almost 30 years. I started this journey in 1997, and it has been a phenomenal journey through like just all of these phases really of growth that I've gone through myself. It's not just been a business development. I always say, the business side of any oh gosh, this is like the coaching industry today. The business side of the coaching industry is beautiful, and it's a personal development program in a can in its own right. And so not only has like so much come through me as a coach and a light worker, the material reflects that. But I have like really become as a person. I always look at it like I'm my first client, right? Like I am my very first client. I was back then and I still am today. And I just want to say that it's with intention that I continue to bring myself to the cusp. Suzette, are you hearing me? Is everybody hearing me? Or am I having struggles? Let me know, you guys. You're hearing me? Suzette? Lori? Okay. All of a sudden I heard, Okay, good. All of a sudden I saw this, I'm not hearing you. I'm like, "Oh, no." Okay. So, but, here's the thing, like, I live this work, and we make fine tunements and adjustments as we go. Everything that comes out of my mouth, I do for a reason as I support you in your journey. This work is, around 4 pillars. It's the CUSP equation, which stands for conscious creation, unwavering alignment, unwavering worthiness, synchronicity as an intelligence, and prosperity consciousness. And from those pillars, we create 7 steps that are based on 8 universal laws. And I could go on and on because what's happened here is that this work is based in a frequency, it's based in a sequence, and it's very specifically something that you can follow along with when you're immersed in it. And so I'd like to pull out topics like the power of clarity to help you really understand and, well, for all practical purposes, get clear on your frequency. But when it comes down to the work, it's very experiential and it's very sequential. Like, let's get into it so that our humanity can have an experience of the work that allows us to transform. So the last 30 years has been a journey for me in that transformation. And even in the last year to 2 years, I've been saying on the cusp for a long time, but those pillars became really, really specific and really, really, formulated. Even it's kinda like reverse engineering. Like last fall, we opened up the CUSP community. So we have been in a lot of metamorphosis. We moved from Facebook, our very big Facebook group, over to this platform, took this big leap of faith. Here we are, and we continue to stay in, and reach into the kind of alignment that creates results in our life. So I want to welcome you for those of you that are new, and for those of you that are veterans in the house. You're seen and appreciated, and the work works when we step into it. So here we are talking about the power of clarity. I want to start off with this story though. I started I think it's day 43 of the M100 today. And we've been through 35 rounds of this program. And without fail, I will say that something always unfolds for me when I am in high intent around the Manifestation 100, when I'm in high intent around the work of unwavering. And just to back up for a minute, Tim and I have been together almost 7 years, and I know time flies, you guys. It's just crazy that we're going to be coming up on our 7-year anniversary and 4 years married. And for 7 years, he has been telling me about 12 Mile Beach, right? It's this campground in Pictured Rock. He's been telling me about this for every year, multiple times a year. One day we'll go to 12 Mile Beach. One day we'll go to Pictured Rock. One day, one day, one day, one day. And he's like, one day we'll buy ourselves a camper and we'll go camping and we'll get this breathtaking overview of the lake. It will be spectacular, nothing like you've ever seen before. And I'm always like, you know, whenever it shows, I am game. Come to find out that this campsite that he went to in the 80s, probably, and probably even the 70s when he was a kid, is so in demand that you can't hardly get a spot. So here we are, um, he's fixing up our new camper. It's doing, he's doing all the things to it. It's hilarious because I'm just like, oh God, like I'm not, I love my butterflies, don't get me wrong, but I am learning to love this new adventure that he has in store for us. So I said to him, I will go book a couple sites for us. That's fine. We've got some things on the agenda. And I went to the website and for fun, typed in 12 Mile Beach. And the month after month, reserved, reserved, reserved. People on Reddit complaining, you can't even get in here. It was all the things. I was like, well, let me play. I played with some dates. Nothing's available. Nothing, 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 nothing. And I was like, well, it's just not meant to be, right? It's not one of those things. I clicked out of it for 5 minutes. I clicked back in, hit refresh, and 3 nights opened up in a row, right on our 4th year anniversary of our wedding. And I like, well, let me just say, within a couple days, this will be an anniversary trip because 3 nights, 4 days opened up at this campsite that he's been talking to me about for years. And honestly, we all know there was a cancellation, right? We all know that nobody can get in and they fight over these these campsites because it's so beautiful. But I said to him, I'm like, from the other room, honey, I think 3 sites, or I think 3 days just opened. And I said, I just like want you to like this just dropped in our lap effortlessly. I clicked out, I clicked in, I refreshed, there it was. And you couldn't have made, you just really couldn't have made it up. When you look at like, without hearing the bigger story of the daily work that I was doing and the alignment that I was creating and the clarity, the vibrational clarity that I was maintaining, that I was choosing, that I was deciding to have without like being able to like reverse engineer the entire breadcrumb story and just telling you the result without being able to do that in specifics, because there were things, there were lessons, there were challenges, there were breakthroughs, there were signs from the universe that I decided to pick up one thing after another. The fact that it dropped in my lap was surprising, and I was in total awe. But to say that I was surprised would be to say that I don't trust the unfolding of this journey and that I don't trust the way the work works. And this work, really specifically, the CUSP pillars is an equation: conscious creation, unwavering alignment, and divine worthiness, right? Synchronicity and prosperity consciousness. These are the frequencies that create a powerful flow. And that powerful flow, though, comes from a kind of alignment that is crystal clear. And when you make a choice to live in crystal clarity, this is always my prop. You line up powerfully with who you are. You spin in the right direction, and that kind of coherence creates magnetism. So he's been talking. You might say, well, I don't want to wait 7 years for my campsite, and I don't want to wait 7 years for my lottery, and I don't want to wait 7 years for my name your thing, right? That isn't the point. The point is that came to fruition in perfect aligned divine time. We just got a camper. If we would have like manifested it a year ago, we wouldn't have gone. We wouldn't have gone. So within 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was at the time, I don't actually know at the time, some light perusing, all of a sudden, one refresh button. Think about an energetic refresh, right? Let's just energetically hit the refresh button. We have a honeymoon trip. We have an anniversary trip on the books to the thing he's been talking about for the last 7 years. We manifested his dream trip, and he's fully enrolled me in it. So I'm here to say, like, what do we want to make crystalline? What do we want to make crystal clear? Because just like these crystals, just like the crystal that you are, and just like anything that you want to have extreme vibrational clarity on, we have to shine the crystal and make sure that we are taking good care of our clarity. And I really want you to do that with intention. I want to invite you to the cusp. I want to invite you to stand in your power as a conscious creator. I want you to stand in your divine worthiness. I want you to stand in the magic of the field of synchronicity. And I want you to use the power of prosperity consciousness to leverage creating the life that you want to live, because there is power and prosperity consciousness is your birthright and your result. So you might be like, well, Lori, it's just a campsite. I say it's an unfolding that was a match to an intention, his much more than mine. But I'm getting pretty excited about the vision that he's painting for me. So it was the manifestation of it through me for us, because he's been intending it. That in itself was the bliss ride that I seek. That was the bliss ride that I seek. So as we get started today, I want you to think about, like, it's not and this is the thing. We walk around like you think you want mental clarity. You think you're confused. You think you don't know. You think you can't decide. You think you're not ready. And the truth is that it's not mental clarity that we're seeking. It's vibrational clarity that we seek. It's alignment with our inner being that we seek. It's alignment with our power that we seek. It's coherence that we seek. And when we come into powerful coherence, I mean, just feel me on this, you guys. When you create powerful coherence with who you really are, when you create a powerful coherence between your mind and your heart, between your heart and this universe, when you create that kind of coherence, it's called chrysalis to butterfly. That is the magic of divine intelligence, and that is the magic that you are. And we don't stand in it enough. So tell me how this feels, because there is clarity in just our attention. Do you know the minute that you turn your attention to anything, you create more of it? So I want to invite you today, for those of you that could join me live and for those of you that can join me on replay, tell me a little bit about what you want more clarity of. And I also want you right now, and you don't have to write this down, I want to hear what you want more clarity of, though. But I want you to lean into this feeling of crystal clear, vibrational energy. Just feel into the feeling of what that's like. It's like noise free, static free, leak free, conditioning free. When you feel the feeling of crystal clear, it's not something you get to hear, it's a remembrance. And for all practical purposes, when you seek clarity, you're seeking to be tapped into your most powerful self. And that's what we do here. And how do we do it? We live life on the cusp. We live life on the cusp with intention. We bring ourselves to it every single day, not just like, oh, I'm going to bring myself to the edge of my desires. I'm going to bring myself to the edge of what's possible. I'm going to bring myself to the edge of this field of consciousness that I stand upon right now. I mean, that's CUSP, right? But I'm going to choose from this place to lean my energy into crystal clear, to lean my energy. Even if my mind cannot get clear, I'm going to lean myself energetically into this place. And I want to give you this setup because it's energy work. The minute that you turn your attention to clear energy, you can't help but clarify your own. The minute you bring Windex to the window and start wiping, you can't help but clear the smears, right? The fingerprints. But here's the thing. This is what I want to give to you, because life happens. And as we flex the muscle of our becoming, we've got to honor what the human journey is, because I get it. The windows are dirty. The dishes aren't done. The kids are crying. The bills need to be paid. The copy needs to be written. Your voice needs to be heard somehow, some way. You've got to get out of bed in the morning and trust the unfolding of maybe the business that you're in, or the career that you've chosen, or the clients you're meeting with, or the service that you're providing. We've got to show up. I call it the divine show plan. We've got to show up. So when you have your days, because there will be days where you're not happy with your work, yourself, your life, your this, your relationships, your that. The mind believes, and actually, I need to back up because I want to share something with you. When Before I go there, when I started um, this journey, like so long ago, I mean, I've been teaching for almost 30 years, teaching and coaching for almost 30 years. I was a therapist turned life coach, right, for a long time. But I was always asking the question, like, why am I me? And why do some people have the life they have? And how can I consciously create? And what are the laws of the universe? And what are like, what makes life happen in a certain way? And so I did a lot of experimenting, right? I came to understand, though, something about myself is that not only was I like ferocious about conscious creation, but I, inside of me, had this little truth that said, and let me know if this is you guys, like, if I can learn how to create my reality, I might have some control over my life. And if I get control over my life, I will be safe. For a long time, I packed that up like, I just want creative control and how juicy it is to have creative control. But as I moved through my own personal growth journey within the work, I realized that there's a part of me that came to conscious creation because I wanted to install safety into my experience. Like, I'm here learning to create my reality because I want creative control and it's so fun to manifest. But this little part of me that was wounded also thought, I will then be safe. If I can learn to XYZ as a conscious creator and get really, really good at it, if I can learn all the secrets of the universe, I will then be safe. And what was really interesting is like when I came to like not apologize for my ego needing that, like there was something to be said about like how I was willing to love me more despite it. Because there's a part of me that didn't want to like, I don't want to be in my work to create safety. I want to be in my work to create freedom. That was my story in my mind. But guess what? The little girl in me, the wounded dreamer in me, wanted to learn to consciously create because it felt like I could create safety for myself. And I did. Because I really deeply believe in the experience of co-creation because I really deeply believe that, and I experience like when I come into that kind of alignment, I can impact my result. I am the one who chooses to respond to the circumstance. I am the one who chooses to respond to the conditioning. I am the one that chooses to create more of what is in my reality or not by my focus. And so I learned so much, but I was trying to solve my brokenness. I was trying to solve something that didn't feel safe in me. I got clear on that. And when I could hold that space for myself, like I've got you, then I could actually, like, I've got some things I want to share with you today. Then I could actually step into the work with more power. So if any of you are here because you want to feel more in control of your life or what you create in your life, just so you know, you're not alone. I want to create the freedom, but the wounded dreamer in me wanted to create the safety. And we did both through this work. But the first thing that I really had to do was that I had to let my clarity be birthed from contrast. So I could spend a lot of time, and some of my clients, we can spend a lot of time letting our contrast or our challenges or our hardships or the conditioning, we can let that be a place of confusion or like life did us wrong kind of thing. But at some point, we have to say, I'm going to choose to let my clarity be birthed right from my contrast. Like, I just experienced this pointed, rough weekend. I just experienced this pointed, rough year. I just went through XYZ. Name your thing, we all have them. and it wasn't pretty, but I stand in this 100% no matter what empowerment model, that no matter what, I choose to stand in my power. No matter what, I choose to stand in my divine worthiness. No matter what, I choose alignment over circumstance. And I'm going to allow, and I want to invite you guys to write this down right now in this little mini workshop we're doing together. What clarity will you allow yourself to be birthright from your contrast? What clarity will you allow? What is crystal clear to me now? And it could be that your desire got more pointed. It could be that you see that there's a belief system that needs shifting. What got clear? What got clear? So we can hold all of the static. Some of you have health challenges. Some of you, we all want 5 things, right? Love, joy, purpose, health, freedom. The money is the freedom. But if you want health and you've experienced a health challenge, what clarity is birthed from that? If you want love and didn't get it, or got love and got it and lost it, what clarity is birthed from that? You had an argument with your significant other. What clarity is birthed from that? Sometimes it's not the clarity that is like rainbows and sunshine, but there will be clarity if you let it. Alignment isn't about not having challenges. Alignment is about honesty, deep emotional honesty that allows you to either feel something differently, choose a different thought, choose a different action, put yourself first. We get clarity in our contrast. So I wanted to get that one out of the way because honestly, it's stickier. But when we let clarity be our contrast, it's like, here's our challenge. Now I focus on what came from it. This is, now I see clearly. Thank you, universe, for my clarity. Thank you, universe, for my clarity. Like, let yourself sink into that, because that is actually on the scale of 1 to 10, that's a 10 in vibrational movement and a 10 in vibrational awareness. So the second thing that I want to offer you, because our minds are conditioned to believe there's something always wrong, I want you to think about it this way. I want you to move your attention from fixing what you think is wrong with you. You think something is wrong in love, joy, purpose, health, and freedom. You think there's something wrong in the umbrella of here's my desires and I think something's wrong. And I want you to shift from trying to fix. This is very clarifying. This is like head of the pin, splitting great blades of grass. But I want you to shift to calibrating to the frequency of, because there is a difference between fixing your frequency and calibrating your frequency. Fixing says there's something wrong. I got to fix me. I got to figure it out. What's my next wrong thing? What's my next wrong thing? And there's something to be said about what shows up to be cleared. I 100% agree. But we get fixated on fixing. And it's not that we don't make the shifts. It's just that when we get fixated on fixing, it tends to sabotage us, and it gets this clarity that we seek gets very muddied with everything that we are trying to fix. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? I want you to be tuning in to calibrating to the frequency of your clarity and your most powerful self, and then letting that which needs to be polished show itself. I always say the darkness shows itself to be cleared. But we will fixate. Let me write this down really quick so I just remember that I spoke those words. When you're fixated on fixing, you will create problems that are not there. I want you to tune to your highest frequency. If you notice, I'm not having you guys do tons of shadow work here, because we will always have the shadows will show themselves to be cleared. But when we get fixated on fixing, the shadows tend to overwhelm the frequency work. There will always be contrast. There will always be shadows. But to get really calibrated with the power of clarity in your life to become a vibrational match to your inner being, it is not to get fixated on fixing. I mean, you're pretty amazing. It's about calibrating to the frequency of the power that you really are. And we do that in a couple ways: 4 pillars, 7 steps, 8 laws. So I want to, and I was going to say 12 or 13 other shifts, but that's for another day. Okay. So like, I want you to get really, really clear that your clarity doesn't come from the noise. It doesn't come from drilling in. It doesn't come from the shadow work. It doesn't come from that. It comes from calibration. It comes by calibrating to your most powerful self and letting that which needs clearing to show itself. You might have a few things, but you don't have everything. This is like calibrating to the frequency is like installing a new personal operating system versus let me fixate on fixing every tiny little bug in my computer system. I want you just to install a new operating system. Do you ever open your computer with a new operating system? It's running swimmingly, right? It's fast, it's clear, it moves. Oh my gosh, we're calibrated. That's what calibration is like. But you can't get calibrated to the highest level when you're fixated on the fixes, on fixing the bugs, because there will always be bugs. You will accidentally download a file from a website you shouldn't have been on. Oh, now we have a thought virus. Whoop. Now we have a belief system virus. Whoop. Now we have a worthiness virus. Whoop. Now I'm not standing in my power. Whoop. Now I bought into the collective. Instead of creating my own reality with intention on purpose every single day. You feel me on this? So I want your work to shift from fixing to calibrating your frequency to your highest self. That's where the work is. In fact, that is magnetic center work. If you are calibrating to the frequency of your highest self, your future self, your inner being self, that won't look anything like the one little detailed belief system about the prosperity consciousness that is running you. That would look like, let me dial into my powerful self. What does she think? Let me operate from there and let this other noise rest for a minute. You only have to step into a frequency. We do higher self work first, and then whatever needs to shift will show itself. We've got a few things. We have a few things. We're human beings. Perfect in our imperfections. We are flawed by nature and perfect by nature, all at the same time. Do we want to get out of our own way? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a time and a place for that. But gateways to this work, inroads to this work, it's like there's low hanging fruit for you. So, for example, right, you can say, I want to get on my goddess observation deck and see what my mind is doing. But that's not buying into what your mind is doing. That's being in observation. So this is the thing. This is like actually number 3, right? Being in the contemplation, the awareness of the misunderstandings that we have about life from this perspective will serve you. It really will serve you. When you think to yourself, well, I want more money in my life. I know money is a thing. Everybody has their hangups around money. They think they don't have enough money. They don't want to, buy the new car and whoopsie, and, invest because of this. They are afraid because of that. I know money is a thing. But it's also not a thing. It's also, I create what I want when I want it. I'm a really good manifester. I mean, if you want to get down to the crux of your money misunderstandings, just ask yourself, what did my household believe about money when I was 7? In my house, we believed what about money? Answer the question. There's your answer. In 5 seconds, you have clarity. There's your answer. And then forgive it. I mean, that's the canned version. But the truth is like when you are on your goddess observation deck and you're standing in the observation of yourself, that creates clarity. If you're willing to let your clarity be birthed from contrast, if you're willing to stop fixating and calibrating to the highest frequency of yourself, and if you're willing to stand in observation of that which you really truly are, this is let's see, we'll use my glasses. This is my high self. This is my inner being self. This is the way I see the world. This is the way my mind sees the world. This is my high self. This is my mind sees the world. When I go on my goddess observation deck, I'm going to bring my high self up with me and look at myself. Look at how I see the world. I am understanding this now. My humanity is having an experience. And if you want your experience to be more like this and less like this, you get to be in the contemplation of yourself and literally reinstall the operating system. There is work to be done on decision and forgiveness and surrender and coming home to your most powerful self, yes. But sometimes there is like these easy, I always like to say low hanging fruit ways of getting your engine started, moving the needle, getting the train to chug a little bit. So let's look at these 3 things, you guys. What clarity? Answer me in the chat if you're willing to play. And if you're on replay, if you're willing to play on replay. Let's walk through these questions one more time. I know this is probably not a beginner class. However, I want you to look at it. What clarity is asking to be birthed from my contrast? Trust what you hear. Part of this journey is learning to trust yourself. That's deep self-love and appreciation. Trust what you hear. What clarity wants to be birthed, spoken, seen, heard from my contrast? Wow. There are times when I look at this and I think to myself, oh, girl, you are in your own way. Pull up your spiritual bootstraps. This is not who you are. Here is the clarity. Sometimes it sounds like it's time for change. You're on the cusp. Are you going to walk your talk or not? Sometimes it looks like clarity of desire. Are you going to be willing to want what you want now? You've got contrast. Do you want this or that? I'm rising goddess, you guys. I have some edgy energy when it comes to myself. I like to call myself forth and say, what is next for you? And are you willing to show up powerfully to that version of you? It starts right here. I say yes. So, number 2, I'm not seeing comments on the side, you guys. Is this hard work? It's vulnerable work. All right. Examine this. Examine this. Am I fixated? Am I fixated on fixing all that I think is wrong with me? Or am I willing to calibrate to my perfection? And if you're willing to calibrate to your perfection right now, tell me how it feels. I don't need you to make a list. This is a short exercise. You know the difference. I'm fixated on what's wrong. I am focused on the calibrating to the frequency of my most powerful self. What does that feel like? Crystal clear freedom. Crystal clear, oh my God, this is who I really am. Crystal clear. You do not need mental clarity. You do not need mental clarity. You need vibrational clarity, energetic clarity. I was teasingly say, they're going to say you're out of your mind and you will say yes, because that's where limitlessness exists for me. The minute that I get in my mind and start uh, accepting the conditions of what's available to me, well, it's a question of what operating system I want. What operating system do you really, really want? Choose it now. And if you really want to understand why you haven't gotten what you've gotten, observe the misunderstandings. Walk up on the goddess observation deck and ask yourself, how am I seeing life through the lens of my humanity? Because we want to bring these together and we want to spend less time in the rules of life and much more time calibrating to our power, calibrating to our next version, calibrating to our highest self. And it doesn't look like buying into limits. It looks like being willing to look at the misunderstandings. So there isn't anything wrong. It's that we have a misunderstanding. Say it like this. Oh, my beautiful, oh, my beautiful ego. Darling, there's been a misunderstanding. Oh my God, we were not informed. Prosperity apparently is available to all. Prosperity apparently is an inside job. Prosperity apparently is yours. I am so sorry this has been a misunderstanding. Let me just clear this up. Carry on. I want you to feel the shift that can come with that decision. And I like to put these things out to you kind of playfully because I can access your ego that way, by the way, because there's no threat. Because if you want to keep this thinking, you can. You can. I'm fully in support of you if you want to live your limitations. I'm fully in support. Wherever you are, wherever you want to be. It's a journey, it's an unfolding. I mean, I've been on a 30-year journey of personal transformation, and the darkness shows itself to be cleared. I still go up to the goddess observation deck and I say, okay, my mind is running some old programs today. What do I want to do with that? What do I want to do with that today? It appears there's been a misunderstanding. Let's shift it. So, I want you to walk away with something to clarify your frequency. Number one, in the beginning, we talked about even just turning your attention to it, the power of clarity. I choose it, I lean into it, I activate it, I feel it, I want it, I'm going to decide to have it right now. What do I want for me now? Who do I want to become now? What am I willing to step into now to get to the next level? What am I willing to do now? Willingness clarifies. Decision clarifies. Self-love clarifies. And when I tell you that this work has been, based on 7 steps, 8 laws, now 4 pillars, we back right out because we want to live on the cusp. The cusp is like me saying to you, bring yourself to it every single day. You get to bring yourself to the cusp. Yes, life is not easy some days. Some days, my hormones are getting the best of me. Thank you very much. Some days, I've got my grandkids and I'm exhausted. Some days, I can't get out the email to let you guys all know that this workshop even what's going on, right? And some days are just harder than others. And the noise will come because humanity is what it is. But when we let our clarity be birthed from our contrast, all of a sudden, I know that exactly who is supposed to hear these words today will have heard them. That is clarity. That is clarity to a T. So I hope this was helpful. Drop me in the chat. Are you guys still around? They're so quiet today. Let me know if this was helpful because I really wanted you to get, yes, thank you for the heart, Suzette. Let me know if this is helpful. I know I gave you something to chew on today. I know I gave you something to clarify your frequency today. I know I gave you something that will uplevel your vibration today. So allow like what was meant for you to clarify and crystallize in front of you. Because if something came up for you, hi Carmi, thank you for the hearts. If something came for you today, trust that. Trust it. If you're asking for clarity, the universe will deliver it. If you're asking for it, if you're open to it, if you need the answer, it will come. Sometimes through me on live stream, Lori, and sometimes through one another. And I really want to just remind us that this is not a do-it-yourself journey. This is really a group journey. I brought us together here on this cuspy community because I want us to stand on the cusp together. It's not just you on the cusp, it's us on the cusp. And I have a tendency to attract very long time veterans of the work and light workers. And together we create a powerful frequency, you guys. It really is powerful here. So, okay, I am glad this is helpful. For those of you that are watching me on replay, answer all the questions, do the work, and tell me what is landing for you. Like what showed up for you? What cleared up for you? And if you guys want to go deeper with this work, drop me a message in my inbox. You can email me, you can message me, you can drop me a yes below, and I will reach out. Unwavering is starting July 1st, and there are a few ways that I can work with you to help you get to where you want to go. So here's to the power of clarity. I love you guys very much, and I will see you next time. All right, bye for now.